welcome to my channel, Some Inspirations for You. Today I'm not doing a Slimming World meal, which is unusual for me, but I am married to a man who has the sweetest tooth I have ever known. And sometimes it's nice if I do something for him rather than things that I like. And as I don't have a very sweet tooth for myself, it's quite easy for me to do meals like this, or in this case it's a dessert, because I know I actually probably won't touch it. So this is really about him. And this dessert is super easy. Doesn't need any baking. It is just literally a 10-minute recipe, which hopefully you will love. It is my recipe. I have just put the ingredients together, although I'm making a cheesecake, basically a Malteser cheesecake, and we all know sort of the basic recipe there is for a cheesecake. I did look at doing cheesecakes with quark and things like that, and I am using low-fat cream cheese in this, only because that's in the fridge. But the reason I'm using a cheesecake as my recipe for today is purely that a few days ago I got a new kitchen unit fitted in my kitchen, which meant I have more cupboard space, which is fabulous. So I sorted out my very small tin cupboard and came across a jar of caramel Coronation milk, and it's been sat there for a few days, and I've been thinking, what can I do with this? Now, the most obvious thing for this would be a banoffee pie, but I didn't want to do a banoffee pie. I thought I'd do something very different, so I'm going for a Malteser cheesecake. So how am I going to do it? First of all, I'm going to bribe my dogs, because as you can hear, Lola, as usual, has decided she's going to play with the noisiest toy she has in the house. So I have actually saved the cartons from the cream cheese, so I'm just going to go and bribe both my dogs to keep them quiet. Okay, so you can't beat a little bit of bribery. So the first things I need to do is to get my little tins, and I'm actually going to make small cheesecakes. And the reason I'm doing them small is because it's probably only my husband who's going to eat these. If I did one big one, then he's got to eat it in probably a couple of days. If I do two small ones, I can freeze one and then just get it out when he needs it, or not needs it, wants it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is actually grease the tins. Now, whenever I empty a butter packet into the butter dish, I always keep the wrapper, because this is perfect for actually when I need to grease any of my baking trays. It's quick and easy. What I'm going to do is just give that a little coat. Get rid of that, and then just put a little circle of greaseproof paper which I cut out earlier on. Okay. And that's just gone into the bottom. Now here I have 50 grams of butter, which I've just quickly melted over the stove. I know you can do it in a microwave, but I really don't like microwaves. We have one because my husband likes to use it, but if I'm honest, I don't see the need for a microwave. I'd rather do things the old-fashioned way on the stove. And I do know that it's quick and easy if you've got kids to heat up their milk, and you know, if you're in a rush you can just quickly zap your dinner. But I don't know, I'd rather spend an extra 5-10 minutes and doing it over the stove or in the oven or some other way. So I have melted it over the stove the old-fashioned way, and then to that I'm going to add some chocolate hobnobs. Okay. And again, you would normally use digestive biscuits for this, but I just think sometimes adding a little bit extra chocolate and, you know, a little bit more oaty adds a bit of a different texture and flavour. Now, if you want to do this, again, the traditional way, you stick it in a plastic bag and you beat it with your rolling pin. But I'm not in bad enough mood today, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it the more modern way, and that's through a food mixer. So I've actually already blended it here. Okay, so to my melted butter, I'm going to add my chopped up hobnobs. And because I've done them in the food mixer, they are sort of very nicely finely blended. And if this was smell-o-vision, that smells so nice. So I'm just going to pop that straight into my butter. as you can see, that was really, really nice and soft. Okay, just going to give that a little bit of a mix. So that is ready now. So I'm just going to pop that to one side and get my tins, which I greased a while earlier. And I'm just going to spoon a layer of that in to each one. Doesn't necessarily have to be even, as long as it's relatively the same. Oh, it smells lovely. And then you just need to pat it down. Wooden spoons are great for mixing, but when you're looking to sort of pat this down, a metal spoon is so much easier. And you want to get it into the edges. Okay, and again, the metal spoon just makes that easier to do, and you get a smoother base as well. Okay, can you see that? It's the same with the other one. It's quite a thick base, but that's perfect. That's just how he likes it. Well into my edges. That's it, perfect. Okay, so there we go. 2 beautifully laid out tins. You'll notice my tins are the spring-loaded tins, so that makes it a lot easier when you come to take it out later. So I'm going to pop these in the fridge now to cool for about 20 minutes while I make the topping. So the topping actually couldn't be easier, and I've said I've left that in the fridge for 20 minutes. The topping does not take 20 minutes. The topping is going to take minutes. So obviously, if you want to, you can make the base earlier and leave it and then come back to the topping. The topping needs probably a couple of hours or overnight to chill. So I wouldn't say leaving it right to the last minute if you want it for a dinner party or anything like that, but it really is very easy. So in this bowl, I have 2 packets of cream cheese, and this is a light and it was 150 grams in each of the packets. To that I am adding my Coronation Caramel. Oh my god, I love this stuff. Don't like to waste any, so I'm taking it out of the lid. I mean, just look at that. I mean, oh, you cannot tell me there's anything nicer than caramel. Not wasting any single piece of this, because I am not licking the bowl myself, purely because I am on Slim World and I'm being good at the moment. There we go. Version actually. Right, so there we go. So that's all in there, and then literally I am going to mix it. Now you'll see it's a little bit lumpy at the moment, and you don't really want lumps if you can help it, because I'm going to add the lumps another way in a minute. So I'm going to take a fork. Oh, I so want to lick this spoon, but I'm not going to. Okay, and I'm just going to use a fork to help me try and take some of these lumps out. You could do this in a mixer if you wanted to. A bit of exercise doesn't hurt, does it? Okay, can you see the lumps are slowly starting to come out, at least reduce? Oh, just look at that. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that actually. It's got a few bubbles now because I've whisked it, but that's absolutely fine. Just gives it a bit of a lighter texture. Okay, so to that I'm going to add my Maltesers, and there's no number of Maltesers you should or shouldn't add. All I will say is the earlier you put your Maltesers into the mix, the softer the sort of the honeycomb will be, so you won't necessarily get the crunch. So what I always tend to do is save some of the Maltesers, and I threaten my husband he's not to eat any of them until I tell him he can eat the leftovers, just to put on the top. Okay, so I've got here, if you can see, just a handful really, just over a handful, which I've broken up. And again, you don't need to worry about how, you know, how they're broken up, because the whole point is that it adds a bit of texture to the whole of the cheesecake. Okay, and guess what? That is the topping. So let's go and grab my bases. Okay, so here's my bases again, and all I'm going to do is top each one with the filling. Can you see why having a good base was useful earlier? Because this is going to be quite a deep cheesecake. Don't want to waste any of the filling. It's a shame my husband's not here actually, because I'm sure he would love to lick this bowl out. But he's not. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit. Okay, perfect. And those just now going to go into the fridge to chill overnight, and then we'll come back tomorrow just before I dish them up, and I'll show you what they look like. Hi, welcome back. So, do you remember my cheesecake? So it's been in the fridge overnight, and now it's the chance to see that it's set. So I'm just going to top it off with a few more of the Maltesers, just to give it a bit more decoration. And don't forget, as I said yesterday, because it's actually been in the fridge overnight, some of the honeycomb does actually get a bit soft, so it's nice to have the texture on top. So for the moment of truth, let me just undo the case and just give it a bit of a shake. Oops. See if I can open it more. And there we go. So if I just show you, look at that. That is beautiful. And there we go. We have a stunning cheesecake. So it's my Malteser and caramel cheesecake. So if you want to have a go at that, I will put the recipe on my website, sliminspirationsforyou.com. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe to my channel and keep looking at all the things that I do on there. So enjoy your cooking and have fun.